What's up YouTube, we're back again with another one. This is Around the Web, where we watch strange and mysterious videos from all over the web that'll definitely keep you up at night. And in today's episode we got this.
Scientists are quietly warning that
this.
Look how high that shit is, man.
Some of this.
What's that? Oh, a farmer catches a helicopter.
So I hope you enjoy the show, and if you like what you see and you want to see more, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. I've been getting videos out pretty regularly, so you'll always have something to kick back to. Also, big thanks to those who have already joined the team. At this point, we're more like a family. So thanks to them for believing in me, for believing in the videos, and helping me build this channel up brick by brick, because we're getting there. We've just now got to 100 subscribers. So thank you guys, thank you guys, thank you guys. Seriously. But anyways, enough with the chit chat. Put your seatbelt on, buckle up, because this is Around the Web, episode 6.
People actually paid to put radiation right next to their eyeballs in the 1920s? Why? Because they thought it would cure eye problems like cataracts or even restore 20/20 vision. It used radium-226, which spit out two very different kinds of radiation. First, alpha radiation. Well, good news. Your eyelids and even a few centimeters of air can absorb it completely. So that part is basically harmless externally. But the bad news? It also emits gamma radiation that burns right through your cells. Even thick lead is not enough to fully stop it. So technically, those glasses work if you wore it long enough, because you just can't have eye problems if you lose your eyes completely.
There is a parasite that is currently spreading all across the country right now in fresh fruit and salad, and it gives you explosive diarrhea for weeks, and it's already in 18 states.
Tonight, a warning about a surge in cases of a stomach parasite linked to produce.
The CDC is monitoring cases in at least 18 states, and that includes hundreds of cases in the tri-state.
So this parasite is all over the internet right now. It's called Cyclospora, and you get it from fresh produce. They're saying that the parasite comes from pre-washed bagged salad, berries, and herbs. They're also saying that washing it off doesn't even work because cooking it is the only thing that gets rid of it, and nobody's wanting to cook their raspberries. Once you have it, it can give you explosive diarrhea for weeks, and some people are stuck with it for over a month. It doesn't go away on its own either, because you need a specific antibiotic to actually clear it, and you're dealing with cramps, exhaustion, and dropping weight the entire time. It's currently spreading fast because it's already in 18 different states and it's still climbing. On top of all of that, norovirus, which is the throw-up bug half of the country has already been getting, is tearing through at the exact same time.
First they give us chemicals in just about every food, then they give us lab-grown meat, and now for the people that choose to eat healthy, we can't even eat our salad because we might get explosive diarrhea. What's next? We can't even eat anything safely without worrying about not making it for the next day or not making it to your toilet. What do we do?
This thing called foglets. It's basically nanotechnology. You can create anything. You can create mountains, you can create clouds. There's military escorting these people in Mexico. They got ambushed by like these guys in not US uniforms, but they're American. They had all the military equipment, Black Hawks, all this stuff. They take the guy out, the military guy, brutally. They load these people up in a crate, a container, attach it to a helicopter, and they're flying. And the U.S. satellites saw this whole incident take place. These generals are talking like, did you send an ops team to do this? Or no, it's a black on black. Special operations against special operations. Very purposeful, creepy stuff. They send two fighter pilots to come like basically like tell them, hey, you guys gotta go land. All of a sudden there's a mountain and this guy's going supersonic speed. His electrical system goes out. He ejects going at supersonic speed. Other pilot saw this happen. His electrical system goes out. He crashes. But before they crash, they see this helicopter fly into the mountain. They said it was 3D, then 2D, then completely transparent.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Okay guys, pretty crazy news. Trump has just left instructions in case he is assassinated by Iran. But what makes this interesting is that this is not even the first time he's spoken about this subject in the past few days. So 2 days ago at the NATO summit, he said that he's #1 on the kill list for Iran and that he might be gone. The next day, the Wall Street Journal, they report that Israel had recently shared intelligence with the US indicating that Iran had developed a fresh new assassination plot targeting Trump. And then today, he told the New York Post that he's left instructions to literally bomb the hell out of Iran at levels they've never seen before.
This thing.
Okay guys, pretty crazy news. Trump has just left instructions in case he is assassinated by Iran. But what makes this interesting is that this is not even the first time he's spoken about this subject in the past few days. So 2 days ago at the NATO summit, he said that he's #1 on the kill list for Iran and that he might be gone. The next day, the Wall Street Journal, they report that Israel had recently shared intelligence with the US indicating that Iran had developed a fresh new assassination plot targeting Trump. And then today, he told the New York Post that he's left instructions to literally bomb the hell out of Iran at levels they've never seen before if they somehow succeed in killing him. And then he joked, "I hope you'll miss me." And how do we know that Iran actually wants him dead? Well, they didn't beat around the bush at all. This was literally one of the signs they held up in the last few days at the burial site of Iran's late supreme leader, and this one as well. So, yeah.
Question for you, 2028. Who do you have winning the presidential election?
Everybody that's been the last presidents, no one ever expected or thought. But without a doubt, this election is going to be unlimited money. My race in 22 cost about $325 million. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Who's funding that? Where is that coming from?
That's money, unlimited money to destroy someone's reputation.
Oh my God.
And in 24, a Senate race hit $500 million. Now 26, watch what those numbers are in 26.
Here's Bill Gates in 2010.
Is spending $1 million on that last 3 months of life for that patient, would it be better?
And here's Bill Gates in 2010.
Is spending $1 million on that last 3 months of life for that patient, would it be better not to lay off those 10 teachers and to make that trade-off in medical costs? But that's called the death panel, and you're not supposed to have that discussion.
There's Bill Gates making the math-based argument that, hey, is it really worth it? You've got this old person who's dying, and all attempts to revive him and keep him alive are fruitless and stupid because he's not a billionaire. He doesn't have adrenochrome. It's not worth keeping that guy alive. That's money that could be spent on teachers. But you don't hear Bill Gates say, well, it cost $4 million for a single Patriot missile. It cost over $1 billion for a Patriot missile battery. We seem to be handing those out to Israel and Ukraine every week. Maybe that money could be spent, I don't know, on education. You never hear that because it's killing people. And killing people makes them feel powerful.
I agree with Tucker on this one. Would you rather spend billions and billions of dollars on 100 missiles for a different country, or would you rather spend billions and billions of dollars on health and education and our country? What do you guys think?
And look, this is a view of Antarctica, right? You scroll in and there's all this ice, right? But it's weird. It's like a grid. Like there's clearly some things they don't want us to see blocked off. But then even weirder, you go over here and it's like sand. Like what? That looks like sand. And then you come over here. What is this? Look, there's tracks. Like somebody was clearly, those are deliberately put there. Then you go up here and there's one up there. And it's, look at that. Tracks, look at the tracks, and then you can't even see them anymore. Because look, you zoom out and it's like it was never there.
One thing that I've noticed on Google Maps and Apple Maps and all that stuff is when you do the satellite view and you're over somewhere that's secure or places like Antarctica like this, if you zoom in, there's patches everywhere. The government is trying to hide something in Antarctica, and I don't think they're going to tell us. It might be up to us to figure it out ourselves.
Times people got rich by selling absolutely nothing. 1. In 1975, Gary Dahl became a millionaire by selling pet rocks, which were literally just ordinary beach stones in cardboard boxes with air holes and a care manual explaining how to house train your rock. Dahl came up with the idea as a joke while listening to friends complain about their high-maintenance pets. The ridiculous concept became a massive fad, selling over 1.5 million pet rocks in 6 months. 2. In 2005, British student Alex 2 created the $1 Million homepage, selling pixels on a blank web page for $1 each to pay for college tuition. Companies bought pixel squares to display tiny advertisements on his simple web page. 2's idea made him over $1 million in 5 months. 3. Chinese entrepreneur Chen Guangbiao made millions selling canned fresh air to people living in polluted cities, literally bottling regular air from unpolluted areas and selling it for 80 cents per can. His fresh air business capitalized on China's air pollution crisis by offering people the chance to breathe clean mountain air from a can. Guangbiao sold over 8 million cans of air, proving people will buy anything if they're convinced it's better than what they already have.
Isn't that wild? The dude sold pet rocks, pixels on a screen, and air. These things are all free. Would you guys buy a pet rock? Because out of those three, I know for a fact, I'm not buying air.
There's a story of this girl. She got arrested for being a kid.
Wait, what?
So apparently in Brazil, there's like this 37-year-old girl.
Yeah.
You know, like in Brazil, like life is tough. So she's like there struggling through life. And then she came up with this plan to act as a kid so that somebody can adopt her.
Whoa.
And then yo, apparently a family adopted her for 14 months.
She wasn't a kid. I think I heard something like this.
She's 37 years old. And apparently she was like drinking from a bottle. She was using a baby voice. And the parents didn't even know that she was an adult the entire time.
This is like Orphan Black. Yeah, this is like that movie, right? Yeah, with the little girl gets adopted.
You'll know how desperate somebody is when they're backed into a corner, the lengths that people will go to survive.
The worst crime that you can commit in North Korea is to...
When you're there and you're talking about how great North Korea is and you're with your family or friends, can you tell when people don't believe it?
With the group of friends that I was with, right, we're doing all the bad things, right? Meaning like watching South Korean dramas. They don't really believe the propaganda, but you have to in a way, otherwise like your family's in danger, right? Because the worst crime that you can commit in North Korea is to talk badly about the regime. I'm sure a lot of North Korean people now knows that they're not living the good life. Yeah. You know, but they're just afraid to speak up because of the persecution.
It's pretty sad that it still works because at this point it seems like North Korea is operating 100% off fear because the citizens seem to know exactly what's going on. They just are helpless to the situation.
So this woman secretly recorded everything that was on TV for more than 30 years. You see, since most TV networks in the 70s were constantly deleting their old footages, Marion Stokes was worried that people would start changing the details of history and no one would have any idea. Since she was a former librarian and activist, she knew just how important it was to preserve true information. So, since Marion had actually gotten extremely rich by buying tons of Apple stock early on, she just decided to make it her life's mission to preserve history herself. To the shock of everyone around her, Marion just began having up to 8 tapes always recording news channels, TV shows, commercials, and whatever else that was on live TV 24/7. Since Marion was a natural hoarder, she put everything else aside and would often leave dinners and other commitments early just so she could make it home to change the tapes. She would still be recording while sleeping, and if she was gone, she'd have her family members record. But although Marion's obsession soon became toxic and created a lot of tension for her family, she just never stopped since she knew her work would become useful one day. After 33 years and 70,000 tapes kept in 9 houses, Marion passed away. She left behind the only complete collection preserving this era of TV. And the Internet Archive is currently digitizing her collection to fulfill her dream of making it publicly available forever.
I guarantee those videos are a Mandela Effect gold mine. What do you guys think?
IKEA just put grooves in their candles to give you less wax. Gillette has given you one less razor, despite the space still being there. But it's not just food. Sandpaper is down 4 to 3 sheets. Kids' books are getting smaller. Even candles are being sold half full. It's called shrinkflation, and it's the reason you're getting less but paying more. It feels like every company is doing this, so follow along because I'm exposing every brand.
Oh, it's real, and some of the portions are disrespectful. What do you guys think? Do you remember the laughing cow with the nose piercing or without the nose piercing? Because I distinctly remember it with a nose piercing. Mandela effect or just a foggy memory?
The mark of the beast 666 is not a brain chip. It's much darker and deeper if you understand the code. So when you look at 666, 6 is the number of matter because a cube has 6 sides and you're inside a cube. You can move forwards, back, left, right, upwards and down. And there are 3 6s. 3 is the number of creation. You are the soul or observer, and that creates through thinking, feeling, and acting the 3 powers. So the mark of the beast is when your soul, your true self, the observer, only thinks, feels, and acts towards materialism. leaving no room for true spiritual connection to your true self. When you only think, feel, and act towards lust, chasing material things, chasing fame, whatever it is. Material things are not evil, but when you only think, feel, and act towards the material world and the body and the pleasures of this world, you become the beast. The beast is your body, your soul is the spark of God.
I think there's something to that. Do your own research.
Fever, and I want a fever rash available. Imagine how hilarious that would be. That would be the cougar score of the century. Jenny McCarthy dates Justin Bieber. Apparently wanted to know what a Bieber felt like.
Would you rather have to be naked on stage during one full song, or drink a cup of blended worms?
Like little girl fans, I can't go.
You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16.
And what music are you listening to at the moment? Beautiful face. All right.
If a stranger whipped her son.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Go down, okay?
One step at a time.
But yeah. Right now he's having 48 hours with Diddy. I had legal guardianship, full crazy.
48 hours with Diddy? Ouch. 48 hours with Diddy? Ouch. 48 hours with Diddy? In all seriousness though, Justin Bieber's been through a lot, and I hope he's finding some happiness in life these days.
75 years. That's how much time you get if you're lucky. 75 years. 75 winters, 75 springtimes, 75 summers, and 75 autumns. When you look at it like that, there's not a lot of time, is it? Don't waste them. Get your head out of the rat race and forget about the superficial things that preoccupy your existence and get back to what's important now. Right now, this very second. And I'm not saying drop everything and let the world come to a grinding halt. I'm saying that you can become a seeker. You can be loving more. You can be taking some chances. You can be living more. You can be spending more time with your family. You can be getting in touch with the part of you that lives instead of fears, the part of you that loves instead of hates.
I put this clip in there because not only is life really short and a lot of people take it for granted, but it's so easy to get bogged down and dragged down by all the negativity that's going on in the world, whether it's war, whether it's people hating people. Before you let that stuff get to you and before you let it drag you down, just remember that there's so much positivity in the world and so much good things actually going on that the news and places don't cover because it's harder to keep people's attention on positivity, which is backwards. But just know that there's positivity in the world and you don't gotta be doomsday prepping or preparing for the next civil war or whatever. Like, live life, be happy, appreciate the sun, appreciate nature, appreciate the people around you. You're only here for 75 years. Don't be scared for half of them.
What's that? Oh, a farmer catches a helicopter.
Are you guys holding the duct tape with all those ticks on there? I don't care if they're stuck to a piece of duct tape. I'm not touching them with my other finger. I don't know, that's just me.
Dropping thousands, if not millions of ticks into his farm, and things are getting a little bit wild. Tell me more! This is wild. A farmer's going out, kind of going through his land, and he notices a helicopter coming up, and it starts to drop all these ticks. So that video is going viral and circulating right now because he caught people in the act of doing this. The helicopter hurried and flew away, but things picked up a little bit quickly. After a few days of these ticks being around, the man actually started to find certain things that were dead on his property from these ticks. For example, he actually came across a moose on his property that was killed by these ticks. Now, there were people saying that this wasn't actually happening and that these were tick boxes that were showing up on farmland. But that's not what was happening. They're actually dropping thousands of ticks into these farmers' fields, and now they're finding them and catching them doing it. Okay.
16 days trying to kill a tick he found on his body. But despite drowning it, suffocating it, and even leaving it in the freezer for 24 hours, the tick refuses to die.
Good Lord. It lives.
I fear that I have created an even stronger monster.
YouTuber Rusty Cage has so far submerged the tick in water for an entire week, hoping it would drown and die, and when it didn't, he decided, alright, let's try and suffocate it. So he placed it in a petri dish with oxygen-depleted water for 2 days. And right when you start to think, yeah, it's finally cooked, he began breathing on it. And as soon as that tick detected some carbon dioxide from a potential host, it came right back to life. But then, on day 15 of his survival experiments, he took it to the expected final stage, 24 hours in the freezer. Now this seemed to actually do the trick because the tick appeared to be unresponsive and dead. But then he tried to revive it using heat radiation from lasers. And to his horror, yet again, bro was just in a cold coma and it woke back up. But here's the scariest part. The reason this tick in particular is so unbelievably resilient is because of what species it is. The Lone Star is not only one of the toughest, but it's also one of the most aggressive ticks out there and is native to Canada, Mexico, and the USA. Oh, and if that wasn't bad enough, this is also the same species of tick which can sometimes make humans allergic to red meat if bitten. And today, they continue spreading across North America at an unprecedented rate.
Do you really think helicopters are dropping tick boxes?
Ain't nobody convincing me that we are the advanced civilization. Like, have you seen this temple? Just look at this place, like hundreds upon hundreds of tons of stone, carved with a level of detail that most modern people could never recreate today, even with power tools. And we're supposed to believe that this was all done with hammer and chisel.
Check out that pillar. Wow.
Carriage thousands of years ago.
Check out that ceiling though. Unbelievable.
I mean, come on. The more I look at these ancient sites, the more questions I have. Like, who taught them this knowledge? Seriously, how did they achieve this level of precision? Have we forgotten about a knowledge or a civilization that knew a lot more than our modern world? I mean, come on, we're taught in school that these people were primitive. Like, I look at this and I see pure intelligence, pure engineering, mathematics, artistry, absolute craftsmanship on a level that leaves most modern buildings.
I think we are missing timelines. This planet is billions of years old, and the furthest we've looked back is about 10,000 years ago for human civilization. Imagine something that died out 1 million years ago but lived for 1 million years. Extreme advancements. Did they just leave? Did they wipe themselves out? Or are they still here living in Antarctica or in inner Earth? I don't know. Makes me really wonder.
Understand what y'all looking at, man. It's the ice wall in Antarctica. And mind you, bro, you see that man right there? You see how small he is? You see how tiny he is compared to this fucking wall, man, that's up a fucking few hundred feet up high. And look how far down it stretch. Look how far down that is, man. That shit stretch on for fucking miles. And that's not even the water at, that's not even the bottom. It goes down a few thousand more motherfucking feet. Look how high up that shit is, man. That shit is higher than the highest fucking tower in the fucking world. Look how high that shit is, man. Look how thick that shit is. Look how far down it go. Look how high up that shit is, man. They gotta use that fucking crane to get on top.
Going to Antarctica is definitely on my bucket list for sure. I wish it was just a little easier to get there.
So I'm currently in the cheapest country in the world for gas, which is Libya. The second being Iran and the third being Algeria, both of which I've been to, and now I'm in the cheapest. It is 15 dinar for 1 liter, which is like 1.5 cents per liter. So it's less than 6 cents per gallon. Less than 6 US cents for 1 gallon of fuel. Of course, the gas used in Libya is 100% produced in Libya.
Less than 6 cents a gallon? What? That's how it should be. Imagine 6 cents a gallon. I would just be driving around everywhere.
Why don't we just fall off the edge?
For the same reason, the space asteroid question. Yeah. So for the same reason why you don't fall off the edge here. Antarctica is the only continent that doesn't look like anything else. All the other continents in here look perfectly fine. Antarctica, though, and it's not necessarily an ice wall, it's just Antarctica, this really, really, really high continent.
So you're saying Antarctica is all the way around?
Yep.
So where's the North Pole?
North Pole's in the center. North Pole's in the center, South Pole doesn't exist. Compasses don't work down in Antarctica. Most people don't talk about that. The Antarctic Treaty says that no corporation in the history of the world can set up shop down there forever.
What's outside?
That's a tough one, isn't it?
Well,
I mean, because it could be
no clue.
Well, I mean, if you can't get outside, you're not going to know for sure. But I mean, I don't think, my personal opinion is this isn't a one-off. There's not just one of these. There's more.
So we've got a picture of what you think what it's.
Oh yeah. That was made by one of our people.
Are there any flat earthers in the chat? It's still kind of interesting to me.
In Antarctica, you're never allowed to pee on the ice. Not even when you're hiking for hours. It's because it's so cold and so dry there that when it snows, it basically never melts. So it just stacks up into layers and layers of ice and traps air inside. And then scientists drill ice cores to study that air, going back hundreds of thousands of years to learn what the environment was like back then. But if anything else hits that ice, like ash from volcanic eruptions, that gets trapped too. So you can't pee, because if you did, one day some descendant of yours would be taking an ice core in Antarctica, and they'd dig and dig and dig, and they'd pull it out and they'd say, what's that yellow line? But to see what's really hidden under the ice, follow along, because it's really crazy.
I think there's a hidden civilization under the ice that they know about, and they're keeping us in the dark. What do you guys think?
This is real. Scientists are quietly warning that 3 massive city-killer asteroids could be on a collision course with Earth, and most people have no idea. A new study reveals that asteroids 2020 SB, 524522, and 2020 CL1 orbit near Venus, hidden by the sun's glare, making them nearly invisible to Earth's telescopes. These space rocks are massive, big enough to wipe out entire cities and unleash a blast 1,000,000 times stronger than the Hiroshima bomb. Here's where it gets unsettling. If one were headed our way, we'd only have 2 to 4 weeks notice. Not nearly enough time to launch a deflection mission, which usually takes years. Researchers admit that our best shot at spotting these hidden threats is a dedicated space mission near Venus. But so far, there's no sign of urgency from the global powers. So the question is, why aren't we hearing more about this? And if the clock is ticking, are we even prepared? Sometimes the real danger isn't what we know, it's what we're not being told.
It's crazy. We got illnesses, catastrophic natural events, and now asteroids on the way. What else are they gonna throw at us? No pun intended.
Did you know light has no shadow? The flame has no shadow because light cannot cast darkness. And in the same way, God is light. And in him, there is no darkness at all. God has no hidden sin. He has no evil motives. He has no corruption. There is zero darkness in God. Everything he is perfectly holy.
I love the scriptures, but I'm curious, does this actually work? Let me know in the comments if you guys have tried this before, because I did not know that fire didn't have a shadow.
A self-driving car turned its teenage occupants into police. Officers say the interior cameras caught the two 15-year-olds drinking and shooting from the vehicle. Waymo then called the police in San Mateo, California. Police officers stopped the car and found the teens with alcohol and a gun that shoots water beads. A police statement says while their actions were not good ideas, at least the kids had the sense to use a Waymo, because driving while impaired would have made this much worse.
We're getting to the point where it's not only going to call the police, it's going to take you straight to the police station soon, for sure. Criminals beware.
China just gave 28,000 robots their own national ID cards. China launched the world's first national platform for tracking humanoid robots from production through to retirement. Every robot now receives a unique 29-character digital code.
Next, they're going to be getting voting rights and living in their own houses. The digital age is here.
This Bentley that I'm parking in the church is not just for me, it's for the church, it's for us. Can we drive it? No, God wouldn't want that in Jesus' name.
Mega churches are a scam.
A former Bush official claims that the United States spent $21 trillion building a secret underground city. Her name is Catherine Austin Fitts, and she formerly served as Bush's Assistant Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. He says that the United States government built this in secret in case of a near extinction event for the rich and powerful. She claims that this isn't just some underground tunnel, but that this is is a massive underground city across the United States with over 170 bases. She even says some are under the ocean and that they are all connected with transportation. She started researching this in 2020 and says that on her website, missingmoney.com, you can go and look at the actual government financials and make a decision whether or not this is true for yourself. Now, there have been theories about this for decades. So are we finally...
Here's more proof that there are underground bases under our feet operating while we're worried about the most minute problems that make no sense, that matter to nobody else but us. Come on, people. There's bigger fish to fry. Alright, YouTube, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I hope some of these videos really got you questioning some things. So if you're still here, I appreciate it more than you know. Feel free to leave a comment. I read them all. I try to answer everybody's comments or at least get back to you. Let me know how you guys liked the video, and I hope to see you next time for episode 7. This is Around the Web. Peace.